Namaste, fellow yogis, and welcome back to Mat Chat. In the last Mat Chat, we learned about energy vampires. Today, we're going to chat about triggers, which many energy vampires will use to set you off. What are triggers? In the many years I'd spent working in the mental health field, I had a lot of exposure to people and their triggers. Triggers are something that affects your emotional state, which often causes extreme and overwhelming feelings of distress. Some examples of common triggers are the anniversary dates of losses or trauma, frightening news events, too much to do and feeling overwhelmed, family friction, the end of a relationship, spending too much time alone, being judged, criticized, teased, or even put down, financial problems like getting a big bill. I have an example of when I was working with a client. I'll call him Daryl. Now, Daryl was drinking about 12 beers a day when I first met him. He was ashamed of this habit, and he didn't know why he was doing this or what to do about it. So together, we reviewed what was going on in his life by going through most of the examples that I've just read and listed above. But what it really boiled down to was Daryl's grandson. Now, Daryl absolutely loved his grandson, so don't get me wrong, but his grandson would do or say things to Daryl that would really frustrate and trigger him. He realized it was his grandson's behavior that would trigger him, and he figured out that every time his grandson came on him, he would start drinking out of anger, and the whole cycle would begin once again. Daryl understood the power that he was giving his grandson by allowing his grandson to cause his outbursts in anger. But once Daryl understood that he was giving his grandson the power, Daryl found the power to tell his grandson to stop manipulating him and that he was not welcome in his house anymore. And that was really a hard decision. I remember that. Once Daryl figured out his trigger, he had the inner strength to stop allowing his grandson to have this control over him. We can all probably think of a time when we're triggered. How did you handle the situation? Did you allow others to take your power? Let's review some tools you can put in place and into your toolbox to help you cope with the next time this happens to you. Now, I know coping with triggers is easier said than done, but with practice, you can get to a place of peace. You can practice breathing like we learned in an earlier video, abdominal breathing. And you can try an expressive writing in a journal about the situation that you're going through. You can practice grounding, reconnecting to the nature or the outdoors, just like we're doing today. Get outside, go for a walk, smell the flowers. Practice gratefulness and think of all the things you have to be grateful for instead of focusing on life's problems. Remember, no matter how bad you think you have it, there's people in the world that are much worse off. Practice mindfulness, where you try and focus on the moment without judgment. Clear your head and look at the situation from the outside looking in. And who do you see? What do you see? Relaxation. This is hard to do when you're in the middle of an upsetting situation. But step away from the situation. Breathe and relax. Don't let yourself get riled up. Be mindful that you're getting triggered and stop yourself before it even starts. Or try a self-soothing situation. I know it might sound obvious, but try telling yourself everything is going to be okay. Also, you can find like-minded people to give you a social support. Maybe this is a group or a friend that you look at and you see them as strong, that they can give you advice and good support. And finally, practice yoga daily, because yoga helps center you and yoga meditation brings you to your happy place. Well, I hope you learned a bit more about triggers today, because at Yogaz, we're all about the true meaning of yoga, which is balance of body, mind, and spirit. We also want you to know that yoga is for everyone, not just a select few. And lastly, remember, Yogaz, it's about you.